This week's chapter has the title, Take in the Good. Take in the Good, from Rick Hanson's Buddha's Brain book. And he starts the chapter with a quote from Walt Whitman. Walt writes in a poem that he wrote, "I am larger, better than I thought. I did not know I held so much goodness." I am larger, better than I thought. I did not know I held so much goodness. Walt Whitman figured that one out. What does that mean? I was a little confused when I read that. What does that mean? How do you find out if you have goodness inside of you? I mean, you either have it or you don't, right? In fact, the capacity for goodness is available to everyone if you apply effort. The capacity for happiness is available to you with the application of effort. The body is built on the foods we eat, and the mind is built on the experiences that you have. With the way that the present moment works, it's a little bit hard to get the head around sometimes, but the present moment is so infinitesimally small that, in fact, the experiences that build your life are actually memories instantaneously. So I want to talk about what he was sharing from the lens of memories, because everything is a memory, unless it's an imagined future. Every experience we have is now a memory. That meditation is but a mere memory now. So I'll discuss it in terms of memories, which is helpful. So there are in the science circles, there's two large groupings we can put memories into. There's the explicit memories and the implicit memories. The explicit memories and the implicit memories. An explicit memory is those memorable moments in your life, those life experiences that were poignant enough that you can remember them. Right? So, for example, walking to church on your wedding day, if you did that, or the moment you found out JFK was shot, or the first time you held hands with somebody you were desperately in love with. Each one of us has these little moments in our life that we can vividly remember. And the ones that are more recent are more memorable, right? The brain can only catalog so much up at the top levels for us to access to. And the rest of it sort of puts down into the cellar somewhere. So these are the explicit memories. The implicit memories of our experiences is all the rest. It's all the forgettable moments, right? It's the majority of moments of life. So, for example, at your wedding, the speech of somebody that you can't remember. You know they spoke at your wedding because you asked them, but who knows what they said. What you ate for dinner the day that JFK was shot. What you talked about the day you were holding hands with the person you were desperately in love with. So these are all the things that they're there somewhere, but they're not easily remembered. Maybe a lot of them aren't remembered. And Rick calls these the residue of your experiences. I love that word, the residue. It's like when you go for a walk on the beach and you come back home from the beach. Maybe you drove a few hours out, and you go and you walk, and then you come back home and you're walking around the house and the residue from the sand gets in your house. And so you walk around your house, you're like, oh, there's that sand. I was at the beach this weekend. The residue of your experiences. And these implicit memories, this residue, it really shapes who we are. It's our expectations of what we think will probably happen. It's how we model our relationships with people. It's it's like our emotional tendencies, which things are going to trigger us. It's your outlook. All this residue is responsible for really who we are. And the residues can be coarsely sorted into two buckets or two piles: the harmful residues and the beneficial residues. The sixth step of Buddha's Eightfold Noble Path. The Eightfold Noble Path is the fourth noble truth. Wise effort. So to paraphrase his sixth step, the step of wise effort in life. This is this moral code that Buddha set out for the moral and ethical road to walk, to be happy. Wise effort is this intentional activity of, on the one hand, preventing or eliminating or decreasing harmful speech, harmful thought, and harmful action, i.e., preventing harmful implicit memories, harmful residues, making an effort to prevent those. And on the other side, creating, preserving, increasing beneficial speech, beneficial thought, beneficial action. So creating beneficial implicit memories, creating beneficial residue. So Buddha asked us to do this, and it's what we work towards. So how does that relate to the human brain? So the human brain preferentially scans for the bad news. Unpleasant experiences, our mind just naturally scans around for that. And it's for survival purposes, right? We've spoken about this before. The mind is Velcro for the bad and Teflon for the good. Like the good stuff just bounces off and we cling to the bad stuff. And it's there for survival reasons. If you walk through the forest and you see something on the ground that looks kind of wiggly and like a rope, but a snake, you're not sure, the first instinct you will do is to jump away from it to preserve your life. So you're going to collect negative experiences to preserve your life. The good experiences are less threatening, right? A beautiful day, if you notice it or not, is not going to have anything to do with your survival. It'll have everything to do with how happy you are, though. And this good to bad predilection that we have mentally, researchers found there's a 5-to-1 ratio there. So we're so attached, we're so prone to look for the bad that for every negative experience, in order to stay balanced, have a sense of equilibrium, we have to experience 5 positive things. So it's profound to me. Even when your positive experience outnumber the negative things, you can still be glum and pessimistic, undeservedly, I would say. I'll just point out here, like emotional pain, we talked about this last week. It's designed to help you, right? Regret, there's a whole book on regret. It helps you redirect your future, right? Regret is useful. Anxiety, it alerts you to threats. Anger, it can rouse you to wise action. So emotional pain, it is there to help us, but emotional pain that has no benefit is basically pointless suffering. Emotional pain with no benefit, like if we're suffering and there's no real use for it, right? Like if you're unwell in body and you're worried and you continue to worry day after day, it's not serving a use. And yeah, of course, sometimes we're not able to stop it, but it's not helpful. And one way to come at this whole predicament of this human negativity is to work on balancing the ratio. So if we can't not worry, like maybe you're trying to fall asleep and you're just so worried because it's not happening and you're going to be tired tomorrow, like you're going to worry about that. So if that's not in the cards for you to be able to stop worrying about that yet, well, what can we do? We work on this ratio of taking in the good to balance out the bad. So how do you internalize positive experience? Like, what does this even mean, right? How do you even do that? So the three things come to mind. Number one, these are, since the majority of our memories are these implicit, is this the residue, we need to stay real small. We need to look throughout the day and not always be looking for big jackpots. We need to stay small. These are the forgettable memories, so to speak. So what's here right now that's so small I probably won't even remember it tomorrow, but it's going to have a lasting effect on me. So number one, stay small as you're looking around on something positive to internalize. I'm breathing in. I'm breathing in successfully right now. That's a huge win. That's a big positive. Number two, notice. So when slightly bigger things happen, notice. Good things happen all day long, but most of the time people don't actually even notice. So a great example is, say you walk to the grocery store. The cars are all staying on the street. The people walking past you are being mindful. The sun might be out. The temperature is really kind of moderate. Your legs are able to work well. You're breathing well. All these things in 15 or 20 minutes trip, all these very positive or neutral events are happening. And then one guy, isn't paying attention, or you don't pay attention or something, and somebody, blows up or curses at you or something. And what do you remember about that trip to the store? It's all about the guy who blew up. And that's what we'll chew on and go over for the rest of the day. Maybe even the next day we'll talk about it with everybody. You can't believe this guy. Not noticing all the people who very nicely and mindfully walked around you. The untrained mind will dwell on useless pain for a long, long time. So this mental activity of noticing the positive is not a luxury. It's not Pollyanna, it's a necessity. It's frankly, it's the fight for world peace. It's no less. So number 3, once you have trained a little bit to notice the positive things, draw it out. Draw it out for like 5 seconds, 10 seconds, 20 seconds. A great example of this is you do something, maybe you had something on your to-do list that was a little challenging. Maybe you've been procrastinating on it and you finally get it done. When you completed that item, did you just kind of run off and get on to the next thing you need to do? Like stop and let your eyes, say you don't like to wash the dishes and clean up the kitchen after dinner. Say you've done it now. You are finished, you've completed. Let your eyes rest on what you see there in this nice clean kitchen. I say this because I'm not a huge fan of washing up. Notice it, rest on it, savor it. 5 minutes, 5 seconds even. 10 seconds, if you can draw it out for 20 seconds. Before you move on, most people run on to the next thing. Pause and integrate this positive experience into the neural network. And then notice it in your body. I admit this is kind of number 4. I didn't plan for number 4, but so think now, bring up now a positive memory. Something that happened, I don't know, it could have happened when you were 5 or last week. Take a minute now and bring up a positive memory for yourself. Something that was really, something good that happened recently or even a long time ago. And pull up this memory into your mind. You can close your eyes if that's helpful. And dwell on that memory, the things you're seeing, many words spoken or things felt. And notice the flavor of your experience. Like notice, is there anything in your body, in your eyes or your chest, as you're remembering this nice memory? Is there a lightness? Notice how that feels. So positive feelings have this physical benefit. And that benefit sinks deep. Because this residue really is what we're breathing. It's the air we breathe. This is our mental air. This is the quality of the mental air that our mind is breathing, is what we're putting our attention towards. And that air has an effect on the physical body. So the better quality mental air that you breathe, the better your body will be. Your immune system is stronger. Your cardio system is stronger. And it's the research is showing it. So as mindfulness practitioners, you have this very, very powerful tool at your hands because you know how to stop throughout the day. You know how to pause. You know how to scan around. How am I doing right now? How's this body? What's here in this present moment? And you can make a choice to take in the wonderful things that are right here, or the the neutral things even. But there's so much wonderful available. One practice that I would suggest, this mental movement is not natural, right? And it's not our fault. It's we're programmed that way. One practice that's really excellent to jumpstart this system is the gratitude journal. The gratitude journal. You hear a lot about gratitude journals. It doesn't have to be a journal. It can be a scrap of paper that you put next to your bed. It can be a recitation if you hate writing, but most people benefit from writing greatly. And maybe the invitation is this week, at the end of the day or at the beginning of the day, if you don't do it already, because many people do, is connect this motion of write down like 3 or 5 or 10 things, whatever, or one thing. Connect it to something you already do and see if you can do it every day for 7 days. Write down, what am I grateful for right now? What's positive right now? Right? And it can even be amidst, it could be even amidst, like, for example, you could have back pain, and that comes to the front of your mind, like, I don't know that I could write in a gratitude journal because I have back pain, but maybe your calves and shins are feeling very good, and you can be grateful for that. So the invitation would be to do that as a way to direct the attention to taking in the good. Taking in the good. It's worth spending time doing that. It's a way to make us more resilient to our human nature that's trying to take in the bad all the time. It's our work.